make our dreams come true. We can build for the future of America. America. Together, together, we can proudly take a stand, 'cause we're together. And we're working hand in hand, building for the future of America. America, together.
Getting started, and we understand under the circumstances. My name is Brenda Anderson, and we are today at Hall 909 wanted to celebrate today the joys of being a woman, the joys of being a woman and working together. This is an opportunity that we could get together to say that we're here for each other, no matter what. Our struggle and our success unite us together as sisters. We are sisters because we were born female and we share a wide range of talents, skills, and visions. Our visions should be shared as sisters in how we live, how we work together, and how we relate to each other. We have visions for a more peaceful and humane world. We have much to share with you and with each other. Introducing next is Yvonne Blevins. She has helped me put this on. Without her, it could not have happened. I would like to introduce to you Yvonne Blevins.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for coming out to share this special day with us. We will begin the program by reading Local 909 Women's History. In 1970, Chevrolet Warren hired the first group of women. Among those first women hired in were Pat Monaco, Edie Smith, Ella Odens, Ruby Pruitt, and Gwen Boyd. When they were asked what it was like to be pioneers, some responded that it was frightening working in a plant with an all-male environment and so few women. They went everywhere together in pairs or groups. They had one locker room, and that may be stretching it to call it a locker room, because it actually wasn't a locker room. It was one ladies' facility. Some of the women said that the men were very helpful. Others said they experienced various forms of sexual harassment. One woman said that she believes sexual harassment is worse today than it was then. On May 16, 1976, the first Women's Committee was formed. There were 5 women who sat on that committee. The chairperson was Teresa Miramonte, and the other 4 women were Yvonne Blevins Gomillion, Charlotte Eatman, Judy Momo, and Ruthie Little. Today, the Women's Committee has grown to include 10 members and 4 very active auxiliary members. In 1981, Brenda J. Anderson became the first woman elected as a committee person, as an alternate committee person. In 1982, Bernice Slaughter became the second woman to enter the skilled trades program. She said it was very rough, but she was ambitious and determined, and she stuck it out. She received her journeyman's card and is now one of only 11 women who have achieved that goal. There are 2 female apprentices, 3 EITs. There are now a total of 16 females in skilled trades. There are 701 males in skilled trades. We have a plant population of 3,234, with a total female population of 488. In 1989, Charlotte Eatman was elected as the second alternate committee person. The pioneer women were asked what they would like to see happen at our location in the 90s. This is how they responded. Edie Smith said she would like to see women work together to improve conditions for everyone. Bernice Slaughter would like to see a stronger educational program and better on-the-job training for females. Gwen Boyd said she would like to see a return to sisterhood, where women stick together as they did in the early years. At this time, we would like to welcome our first guest speaker. She has a long and distinguished career of public service. She is currently serving as the president of the Detroit City Council. Won't you join me in giving a warm welcome to Ms. Mary Ann Mahaffey.
Thank you very much for that warm welcome on a cold day that looks like it might be that soon we'll get spring. I mean, at least the sun is out, right? The material you have before you is exceedingly useful. The list of what women have done in our country in the effort to achieve freedom and equality is very impressive. And it brings forth so many memories in my own mind that I think are shared with you. Some of us remember the days when a woman's role was to stay home. And that's what we were pressured with, even though in reality, the majority of women were working outside the home, working in the fields, working in the factories, working in the early mills in New England, the textile mills. And it's out of one of those strikes that we got the song Bread and Roses. That we need not only decent wages, but we also need the finer things in life. We need some time to be with our family. I'm reminded of the fact that though we have made progress, there's a lot more to do. I have been telling people frequently about a trip I took in February at the request of the International Federation of Social Workers to do a workshop just before the UN Women's Commission met to take stock of the progress of women since the beginning of that decade in '76. And I was on a panel with a woman from Malaysia, one from Nigeria, and one from the Philippines. And we shared what's happening in our own countries, the progress that's been made, and the progress that needs to be made. And this was all within the framework of the strategies for the advancement of women that were written and agreed to in the Nairobi Conference in '86. That we must have world peace so that we can use our resources for people. Education, rebuilding the roads and the bridges and the sewer systems. Equality, so that everybody is able to use the best of their skills and knowledge to help all of the people. In plain words, no longer should women be held back and be denied the opportunity to do what they can do simply because of their gender. And social and economic development, education, jobs, because then we are all equal participating members of our society. A woman put in 150% of the effort in a marriage and a man put in 50%. And you were supposed to do everything. Well, my dream is the day when we put in equal amounts because we share equally. And we walk side by side, not behind and not in front, but side by side, hand in hand, women and men, women and women, as we work together to improve our society, the quality of life, and that can happen when we are a crucial part of the process instead of always fighting to get in, but we're in there making the decisions. Thank you very much.
chairperson of the Women's Committee at one time for 7 years. To see the number of people participating here is a very, very, very heartwarming opportunity to see. On behalf of Steve Yokich, Vice President and Director of the General Motors Department, my boss, he sends his greetings. Deborah and I are here to talk about the child care resource and referral services that Mary Ann mentioned. Corporations and businesses are, in fact, only looking at the need from a child care resource and referral perspective. But we as unions have to look at and deal with that need whichever way we can. We would like to look at it from another perspective, but we've got to get it instituted first. And part of the reason that we're here today to tell you what that service is about is to help your leaders here at Local 909 look at and determine to put the program in place. I can talk from an international standpoint because we have negotiations coming up, as most of you know. We'll start talking in July, late July of this year. Child care is an issue that will be on the table. But I've got to be realistic, and I've got to give you some information so that you can go back and institute the program in your plans.
And I'd like to talk to you now about the kind of needs that I'm sure you're all aware of. I don't need to tell you. One is that families consisting of a working father and a mother who stays home to care for the house and children is no longer the typical family. That's not the norm anymore. More mothers work outside the home, more families are headed by one parent, more fathers have become involved in the direct care of their children, and more children are unsupervised at home for some part of every day. It's estimated that over 6,000 children under the age of 6 take care of themselves during the day, for some part of the day, because there's no child care alternatives available to the parents, and they feel they have to work. Roles for children and parents have changed dramatically in the past 15 years, and the need for supportive services has increased dramatically. Those needs include quality child care. At this time, in the United States, there is an inadequate supply of child care, and much of what is available is not of the highest quality. Children are spending more of their formative years in environments that don't typically meet their developmental needs, and that's because the staff in many child care facilities are less experienced and less educated because they're not paid very well. You're not able to recruit and keep child care staff in centers earning an average of $4 an hour with no benefits. Paying for staff, the staff salaries are dependent on what parents are able to pay and willing to pay for child care. Therefore, would-be child care givers are able to stay in the child care field for very long.
Thank you all for your patience. We are running a little bit behind, but at this time, you'll be happy to know that we are going to break for lunch.
Together, we can do it if we only work together. We can make our dreams come true. We can build for the future of America. America. Together, we can finally take a stand 'cause we're together.
Good afternoon. While at work, I tried to compose a poem for women for our luncheon, but I got so carried away it turned into food for thought. It's titled Recipe for Women Building for Success. As women, we should no longer be asked to accept only minor tasks. Since we have become virtually indispensable, we are entitled to be consulted in the making of major decisions and trusted to carry out important assignments. We are builders, ladies. Rejoice and build together. Our todays and yesterdays are the blocks with which we deal. The structure that we raise is wisdom, bounded together by unity, filled with knowledge, to truly shape and fashion the new generation of union sisters, leaving no yawning gaps between, helping each other to grow by giving direction, giving our recipes, ladies, to the next generation of sisters. Women are breaking down barriers and emerging as a strong and important element in the union and community. We are a growing presence in the workforce. Wisdom is applied knowledge. We cannot act wisely without knowledge. Sisters who have it, share it. Wake up, ladies. This decade is ours. Okay. On behalf of Local 909's Women's Committee, we would like to honor 3 women, 2 for community services and 1 for the Local 909 Branch Award. The first honoree is Bernice Slaughter. In 1982, Bernice Slaughter became an apprentice electrician. She was the second woman to have entered what had previously been a male-dominated field. It took courage, determination, and strength to complete her training and to receive recognition as a journey woman. For being a pioneer and a positive role model for the sisters who have later reached out for the prize, we would like to honor Bernice. Bernice, please come up. In recognition of International Women's Month for your contributions to the local Bernice, we salute you, 909's Women's Committee, today, March 25th, 1990.
Thank you very much. It's indeed a pleasure for me to stand here and greet you all this afternoon for honoring me. I don't have a speech prepared, but I would like to tell you something from the bottom of my heart. I'd like to thank all members of Local 909 who stood by me, the people who walked by my side when I was having such a hard time coming through the trade, saying, Bernice, you can make it. There were times when I didn't think that I was going to make it, because I was treated like any other woman trying to strive to be better. I would like to thank our president, Frank Hammer, for helping me during the time when I came to him and asked him to do me a favor because I was being treated so bad. He came to me and he said, I'll do what I can do. In 3 days, my ship was changed. This gave me an opportunity to continue. I would also like to thank our chairman, Mr. Carl E., who stood by me in 1979 when I was given such a hard time. He said to me, he said, Bernice, he said, stand tall and go ahead. You can make it. I want to thank him for those words of encouragement. I would also like to thank a lot of the gentlemen who came up to me and said, Bernice, I see what they're doing to you. But keep striving, because someday you're going to make it better for all the women. Let me say to all the members and all of my friends at Local 909 and in the union, but let me, or help me, become an electrician for General Motors and skilled trades women. Thank you.
Our second nominee is Marilyn Foster Jones. Marilyn became a foster parent in 1981, receiving her first child, a boy 6 months old. her first of 20 kids. She later accepted the boy's sister, 10 years old, and his brother, 15 months. She was then satisfied she had united the brothers and sister together. These 3 kids were later relocated with their natural parents, who in turn named Maryland legal guardians. Aside from fostering 20 kids, she has taken emergency foster kids in her home, sometimes at 3 o'clock in the morning, because she vows she'll never turn a child away. Maryland does missionary work for nursing homes. She uses her own money to buy Bibles, food, and fruit for the patients. She also does volunteer work for COT of Detroit, the Coalition of Temporary Shelter. Maryland works at a local daycare center also on an on-call basis. Maryland recently took the buyout at Hydromatic. I know why, Maryland. Maryland, on behalf of the local 909 Women's Committee, we award you this plaque in recognition of your community service. Maryland. Maryland, in recognition of International Women's Month for your contributions to the community, we at Local 909 Women Committee commend you with this award. Thank you, Maryland.
Thank you all very much.
I just have a few words to say. I won't be that long. First of all, I want to thank God. Thank God for giving me the desire to do the things that I do. Sometimes the going gets rough, and I get so tired sometimes. But the Lord gives me strength. He gives me all the strength that I need. And with my mind on the Lord, I know everything is going to be all right all the time. I think this is a real pleasure to stand before you. I've never received an award like this before in my life. And I just, even in that, I see the Lord even in this. Because, number one, I'm no longer employed. And for you all to think enough of me to ask me to come and receive an award, it's a privilege. I thank you all. I love all of you. I really do. Because I have a little God in me. Now, I want to dedicate something to the women and the Women's Committee. Brenda, Ramona, Yvonne, Robin, Christina, Jessie, Clarice, Dorothy, Deborah, Zelda, Valeria, Sharon, and Sandra, all of you. This is a song that was taken from the UAW songbook, okay? And the name of it is Together. And the reason I chose this was because it has a lot of meaning, and the theme is working together for success. So I'll read this. You can do it if you only work together. You can make your dreams come true. You can build for our future, America, together. Together, you can proudly take a stand because you are together. And you're working hand in hand, building for the future of America together. And I'd like to say this to the women. Continue to set your goals and let nothing hinder your determination in accomplishing your goals. God bless you all. I love you.
Our third and last honoree is Ms. Kathy Kellogg. Kathy started at Hydromatic in 1977. 5 years ago, Kathy and her brother, Reverend Thomas Miracle, felt the need for a place inside our plant where people from all walks of life could come for Bible study and prayer on the second shift. They started a second spring ministry, Care and Share program, which in turn collected funds to buy food, blankets, and Bibles for the homeless on Cass Corridor. Kathy is recording secretary for the organization. And our second honoree, Marilyn, was choir director. Second Spring Ministries also collect funds to send inner city kids to a Christian summer camp every year at the Wildwood Ranch, which is affiliated with the Detroit Resource Mission. Kathy became involved with the United Mine Workers of America strike against Pistons Coal Company because of the memories of her late uncle who worked in Virginia. Kathy also enjoys visiting nursing homes, hospitals throughout the area, singing for the patients' enjoyment. She feels that God has pleased her with the gift of loving people unconditionally, and that He is the force that has guided her in all of her endeavors. Ms. Kathy Kellogg. In recognition of International Women's Month for your contribution to the community, Kathy Kellogg, we the women of 909 Women's Committee salute you with a plaque. Thank you. It is with deep humility that I accept the honor that you have chosen to bestow on me today. I could not have accomplished all that has been done had it not been for the support that I have received from the membership of Local 909, my friends, and my family. And most of all, I could not have done it if it had not been for the grace of God. God has blessed me with the gift of loving people unconditionally, and that is the force that has guided me in all of my endeavors. And I thank God with all my heart. For a mother who taught me to care about others and to reach out in love to a need in order to help someone else. Each of the endeavors I have become involved in have been doors of opportunity for me, doors which have led to new fields of service for God and for my fellow man. They are doors by which I can explore my usefulness to the service of mankind, and I hope that at the end of my life, that it will show God's glory and a better place for all mankind. And I thank you.
To introduce Nellie, I want to ask you to create a mental picture in your mind of all of us getting together in the year 2030, talking about creating a reunion for all of us who are here today, working in the worker struggle of today. That's kind of hard to imagine doing that. But as a matter of fact, it was Nellie who back in 1975, with some other women, talked about doing just that for the veterans of another day in the labor movement back in the 1930s.
I want to thank all of you for letting me participate in this program. And I want to let you know that these women in the red berets are workers today in the factories in Flint. And 5 years ago, we decided to have a junior women's emergency brigade in case they were needed in a strike. So we organized, and these are some of the girls. They hosted our reunions, and they are very strong union members. They have effect when it comes to council. Thank you very much. Don't say it can't be done, because it can. If you
gotta go out, knock on doors, do it. If you have to have a coffee clutch, do that. Do anything you can, but talk to your fellow workers. Try and band them together. There's lots and lots of reasons why you can and why you should. Understand what you're going for, what your needs are, what your biggest needs are. Child care being one of the greatest, I know. And participate. We need every person here working shoulder to shoulder like we did in 36 and 37. We didn't have a history to guide us. In fact, in the high school, you never heard of political science and things like that then. We built it by just being close to one another and doing what we had to do. No job was too big, no job was too small. And the same thing is today. If you make up your mind you're going to win, you can. Just say, we are, and do it.
When the union's inspiration through the workers' blood shall run, there can be no power greater anywhere beneath the sun. Yet what force on earth is weaker than the feeble strength of one? But the union makes us strong.